Hey there, everybody. This is Michael Bolton III here with Kill 2. No more joking around. We have serious spaceships to talk about. We've got Goonswarm Federation versus Capital Punishment. Why don't you tell us a little bit about these setups, Kill 2?
All right. As you say, both these teams care a lot about this match. For Capital Punishment, we're looking at 3 Slipners. It's hard to read off the order. 3 Slipners, a Scimitar, Cyclone, and a bunch of Assault Frigates. And then Goon have brought an ECM team. 2 Slipners, 2 Rooks, 4 Kitsunes, a Scimitar, 2 Sabers, and a Griffin. So I actually like Capital Punishment in this matchup, but it definitely could go either way. The ECM setup looks strong, and they've got plenty of damage in the form of those Slipners. So
both these teams are in must-win situations. They absolutely must take this match to have any chance of advancing, and both teams, if they win, will then be in a point situation where they must score as many points as possible. Capital Punishment has come in 2 points under, hoping to get just a slight bonus point edge, and the match has just begun. These Harpies and Hawks need to burn for these Kitsunes and slam them down as hard as possible immediately.
Absolutely right. You see everybody get lit up with jammers there. It's going to take a second before we see too much damage. As you can see there on the tactical, both teams started at pretty long ranges. The Slipners around 30 and the rest of the support around 50. And they were at opposite beacons, so it's a long distance across the arena, but damage is getting started now. And it looks like I'm going to look at some of those Capital Punishment Assault Frigates, see what they're actually going after, because I think you're right. They need to get those Kitsunes down, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. We'll see if they're able to get any locks.
We have some ECM and Damps coming from these Harpies and Hawks, not bonus like the Electronic Attack Frigates, the Kitsune, and the Rooks. The strength of those gems is going to be pretty high, but they likely do not have, unless they fit on the Slipnir, that ECM strength bonus. These Slipnirs are going to try and screen out these frigates as best as they possibly can, because they will just chew up Kitsunes. Going for the Griffin is a strange choice. This gem strength is not as strong as these Kitsunes, roughly the same amount of health, and much less well, actually, I believe the Kitsune is faster, so it may just be the Griffin is what they can catch.
That's what I was going to say. The big disadvantage, or one of the big advantages to the Kitsune is it's very fast. Griffins are pretty slow, so it was maybe easier to catch it, although whatever had it webbed got jammed, and so the web is off now, and the Griffin tanked no problem. Same time, Capital Punishment not having too much trouble tanking. That means their Scimitar could have a lock. The Scimitar doesn't even have a jammer on it, so he definitely has a lock. And on top of that, they'll probably have ASBs on all those frigs.
I think that the Goonswarm Federation team is relying on the 2 Slipnirs to overcome and to be able to swap the DPS fast enough to beat the Scimitar. Actually, as I say that, they put ECM on the Scimitar, allowing a Hawk to become unjammed and start applying damage to this Kitsune. But their Scimitar pilot is doing a solid job of keeping everything up. And as a Hawk begins to enter armor, no, it looks like it's doing fine. We will see.
He's in trouble. I mean, that Harpy has at least had a Slipner shooting it. One of the Villy, the Goon Slipner, was able to get a lock, and he might go down here. They definitely, there he goes. So
there we go. They're beginning to slip down the slippery slope. If they can recover, then this is still winnable for them. Villy, by the way, you mentioned earlier in the Slipner, the team captain for Goonswarm Federation, ace pilot Villy, leader of men, destroyer of worlds. Another Harpy goes down. As each one of these ships disappears, that's one more jammer that they can put on a ship, make sure it stays locked down. I actually think if they lose like 1 or 2 more frigates, I'm going to say Goonswarm Federation takes it.
It's definitely going to get better and better for them the more frigs they can kill. Looks like they've got another Hawk tackle now. He's going down pretty quick. A Kitsune is webbed and taking damage,
danger. No reps coming in. Could it be another rep disaster? These Kitsunes and these Rooks needed to be pre-locked by this Scimitar. I don't know why. There we go. Reps finally land.
Wow.
Thank God. Goonswarm Federation scaring me a little bit. They lost last time because they did not rep their Vindicator when it was taking damage. Another Hawk goes down.
Another interesting tidbit about that Kitsune taking damage, I'm not positive, but I think that he brought drones over to a Goon Rook that had smart bombs on it. So he might have been taking some damage from the smart bombs while also taking damage from one of their frigs, but he also might have been taking damage from drones, and the Rook actually cleared them off. That can be a really important move sometimes, is bring drones to your smart bombing ships, have them clear them off for you. Another Assault Frig going down for Capital Punishment. Goon's looking pretty comfortable at this point. It's going to take something unusual for Capital Punishment to get back into this.
The dice roll gods will have to frown upon Goonswarm Federation for them to not take this match. The real question here is, will they take the match with full points? The Slipnirs and the Rooks have a good amount of DPS, but not like a punishing amount of DPS. If these Slipnirs all have ASB and they can't catch this Scimitar effectively because they don't have much tackle using all their mids for ECM, and they don't get full points, they're in a bad way.
I was going to ask, how important is it, the actual point total they get? How much is that going to matter? Why does that matter?
So Goonswarm Federation, if they win this match, will be 1-2. Capital Punishment will be 1-2. Then leaving it up to the next match, Fearless versus Verge of Collapse. If Fearless is victorious, they go 3-0 in the group. tying the 3 below for second place.
Another Harpy down, by the way. More ships dropping for capital punishment, and every ship that drops Goon looks more comfortable and at least locking the match and not losing any ships. Sorry, go on.
Well, for them, not losing ships is actually not that bad. They have to score points. Not losing points is fine at this point.
It's only bad because with ECM setups, as you start to lose ships,
exactly.
you lose control of the match. There's actually a chance you could flip a match against an ECM team if you could somehow take out a Rook and all of a sudden have a bunch of locks.
That's very true. So let me continue back to these points. So what will happen is, in the next match, if Verge of Collapse wins, it's sealed. Fearless and Verge of Collapse move on to the stage, and this match is completely pointless. But if Fearless defeats Verge of Collapse, and they are a favorite to win, according to several people, then it becomes a points tie, with Verge of Collapse currently having 143, hopefully earning more in the next match. If they earn a good amount, say 30 points, because Goons did not handicap, then they will lock themselves in. If they can score 30 points, they'll almost certainly be locked, because Goonswarm only have 48, and the most they can walk out of this match is 125. So they could have a possible of, hold on, let me do math here.
In the meantime, math's happening. There's not actually a whole lot happening in the match. They're having to switch to battle cruisers now, which isn't going to work without the Scimitar down, so they're going after the Scimitar. And it looks like he is dropping fairly quick as those Goon ships catch up to him and start to apply damage. The Slipners will be a little bit slower, but I think, like you said, it's going to be really tough for them to bring down all these the other 4 battle cruisers before the time the match ends in 4.5 minutes. We'll have to see if they're able to do it.
Very true. If those battle cruisers don't go down, the match is done. Goonswarm is out, pretty much.
So it's actually really intense. They really actually have to work hard to burn all this stuff down.
Yeah, they have to chase them all down. You can cover that while I do math. We'll be a team here. So Goons will come out of this match if they can take everything down with 164 points, meaning that Verge of Collapse losing next match will have to, if they walk away with 20 points or more, then they seal their passage into the next round. If Fearless wins and Goonswarms don't clear the field, there is still a chance for capital punishment to make it through with their original 125 points.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so even losing and getting completely wiped, their victory was so convincing, a complete wipe in their previous victory, that they have a chance of making it through.
Wow, look, this is going to be really tough. They're now working on 2 Slipners at once, which is a terrible idea. I'm sure it's because of ranges. They have a hard time getting to 1 Slipner, and they feel it's probably more efficient to burn them both. But you can see the ASBs on those Slipners can actually just handle this damage for now. They'll run out of charges, and then they'll break, but for the time being, they're actually really comfortable. That's the capital punishment Slipners. So, I don't know. They might be able to do it, but they definitely have a lot of HP to get through.
I think what might be happening here is they're trying to put pressure just to make charges empty out of those ASBs. Like, if their main DPS, I think they're probably not splitting it the right way. Their main DPS needs to be focused on one, like a little bit of a DPS on the other Slipner just to make him use charges slowly over time, so that when they do switch, he's faster to reload. They've actually swapped over. It looks like more damage is now on Diziat Thomas in the Slipner, likely caught by those Slipners, and they're actually making a huge mistake, allow Commander to sort of get range and not take as much damage.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to go look and see if he is burning away. That was the other big important thing that for this match is if Capital Punishment does a good job of spreading the battlecruisers out. If they go into full runaway mode and try to actually, because it's actually, like you said, beneficial for them to deny points to Goonswarm. It's actually strategically important for them to not give up points to give themselves a chance of getting through.
They make it, like right now at this point, if they kill nothing more, they will make it through to the next round, provided that Fearless defeats Verge of Collapse in the next round.
And so that's exactly what they're doing. I'm looking at Commander Scarlet and a Slipner. He is just burning as far away from the Goonswarm team as he can. And I bet the other battlecruisers are going to do that too. They're just going to try and avoid damage to make Goons get as little points as possible, even though it's obvious that at this point Goons can't possibly lose.
Yeah, very true. So I think that it's interesting to point out that even though they're running, these Rooks have a very long range. They have standard heavy missile range, about 70 kilometers, and they do about as much damage as a Cerberus. These Slipners are certainly as fast as other Slipners because they're the same ship. But these Kitsunes have no tackle. The Sabers are okay for tackle in this situation.
No, they're good.
Yeah.
They're good.
They could have put it on frigates and have had a faster point.
Sure.
But, and then the Griffin is certainly useless for tackle. So they only have these 2 Sabers to chase down. Only 2 have to chase down 4 ships.
This is not going to happen. There's absolutely no way. I think Commander Scarlet still has a couple charges, and if not, is reloading now. This Slipner is going to go down, but there's still 2 more battlecruisers after. Even if they are able to get down Scarlet, there's 2 to go, and there's only 1 minute. So
we just have tackle coming down the Cyclone. Perhaps they can get there in time. Do you know the distances right now? It looks like somebody's right on top of one of the Slipners and one of the Cyclones.
The Havelock Slipner is way away from everything right now. The 3rd Capital Punishment Slipner. He's like a good 80k away from everybody else in the fight. So there's no way they'll be catching up to him. And that means that Goons actually are going to finish last in this group?
Yes. If they, even if they win here, well, it depends.
No. They won't finish last. Well, they could.
they will.
Okay.
No, yeah, they'll finish last.
Okay.
So this is really heartbreaking for them. They brought an all-or-nothing team, and they actually got all, but they didn't have enough damage and tackle to chase down and finish off their victory.
I mean, yeah, that makes me feel like, is it really an all-or-nothing team? Because really what they needed was to guarantee they got points. I feel like something like the Taluses that Shadow Cartel brought would be an all-or-nothing team. It's a team that wins or loses. I mean, just because it's a team that wins or loses doesn't make it all or nothing. What they really needed to do is make sure they got every point in the match.
Wait a second. If Goonswarm, they just dropped that Cyclone, putting them at 68 points.
10 seconds, Michael Bull.
Yeah, I know, but I'm trying to do the math here because if Capital Punishment scored no points. Hold on, my math is not in good mode right now. I'll do the math later. We'll talk about it in the next match probably.
All right. See you guys in a bit.